Hello, I'm Regina McCullum, walking with you through the New Believer Bible Study Guide, What Just Happened to Me. Welcome back as we continue our look into how Jesus connected his identity to God himself when he made a series of statements that began with the words, I am, the same words that God used when Moses asked him for his name. In our last time together, we delved into the first three I am statements made by Jesus in the book of John. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world, and I am the door. Each of these statements provides insight into who Jesus is and how he relates to us. We saw how Jesus offers spiritual nourishment, guides us in truth, and opens the door to salvation. Now, in this second part, we will continue to explore the remaining I am statements and uncover even more facets of who Jesus says he is for you. In John 10, 11, and 14, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. What do shepherds do? They provide for and protect their sheep. Yes, you are being compared to a sheep, but it's a good thing, really. Jesus uses this imagery to show his deep care for us. He is the one who knows his followers intimately, leads us into peaceful places, and protects us from harm. Psalm 23 famously begins with, The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. This is who Jesus says he is. Could you use a trusted leader in your life? One who leads you into peaceful and restful places, regardless of the dangers all around? The next phrase in Psalm 23 continues, Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Who is Jesus? Jesus is your good shepherd, and he is with you. Then, in John 11:25, Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live even if he dies, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. These words are a bit of a tongue twister, and Jesus probably had fun saying them. They can spin your mind for a moment too, although they are pretty straightforward when you stop and think about them. Everyone eventually dies a physical death. But everyone who believes in Jesus will be raised up to live again. Then Jesus repeats it another way. If you live your life on earth believing in me, you will never experience the eternal misery of death that, according to the Greek definition, actually begins on earth for the one who doesn't believe. You see, it's a win-win. Abundant life on earth and endless blessed life in heaven. Physical death for you can only lead to eternal life because Jesus is the resurrection and the life for the one who believes in him. Now, how does knowing that change your perspective on death? And Jesus can't seem to emphasize enough the life he is offering. In John 14:6, his I am statement goes like this, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, we already talked about his being the way and the life, so let's talk about his being the truth. When Jesus said he is the truth, he was saying, I am he in whom the truth is summed up and personified. You know how people these days say, you have your truth, I have my truth. Well, I think this verse might be claiming, if it's not his truth, it's not truth. I'm talking about the truth as it concerns God and the execution of his purposes through Christ. The made-up thoughts and opinions of man about God, even the misguided or sometimes even corrupt teachings of Christians that don't line up, are rejected by truth. It might sound harsh, but truth is too important to mess with. If you've ever been the victim of a lie, you understand. Jesus told Pilate in John 18:37 that he was born into the world for the very purpose of testifying to the truth. Hebrews 1:3 reveals that Jesus is the exact representation of the nature of God. Jesus is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth when it comes to who God is. You want to know what God is like? Look at Jesus, because Jesus is truth. Now, in John 15:1 and 5, Jesus said, "I am the vine, and you are the branches." A vine is the main plant, the central stem or the trunk from which all the branches grow. It provides life, nutrients, and stability to the branches, allowing them to bear fruit. Without the vine, the branches cannot survive. In order to flourish, believers must stay connected to Jesus. John calls it abiding. Abide in me as I also abide in you. Jesus said in verse 4, abiding is to stay continually present and stable in this place. As you stay continually present to Jesus, He infuses your soul with His presence and power. In this place, you will bear much fruit. What does it mean to bear fruit? Fruit is the stuff produced in your life. Bad fruit looks like envy, strife, greed, selfishness. Good fruit looks like love, joy, peace, goodness, kindness. Jesus is the vine. By leaning into Him, listening to Him, staying connected to Him, your life will be productive. No striving needed. A branch doesn't have to strive to be fruitful. Fruit just happens as it stays connected to the vine. You are the branch, and Jesus is the vine. We've now explored the remaining I am statements. I am the Good Shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life, and I am the vine. In each of these statements, Jesus is inviting you into a deeper relationship with Him. There are 7 I am statements that Jesus made in the book of John, each one revealing a different aspect of His divine nature and of who He is to you and me if we will let Him. Which aspect of Jesus' identity do you need to experience more deeply right now? Do you need a shepherd right now? Do you need Him as the light in the darkness? Do you need the assurance that He is the door and you are invited in? What about just plain solid truth? He is the truth. Are you hungry for the bread of life? You can be satisfied. Are you experiencing physical death somewhere in your family? Do you need His comfort right now as the resurrection and the life? Are you encountering circumstances in your life that metaphorically feel like death? Even there, He is the resurrection and the life. All of this is within reach as you stay connected to Jesus as the vine, your source of life, nutrients, and stability. You will spend your lifetime on this adventure of discovering all that He is to you. And once you experience Jesus in any of these ways, your understanding of who He is broadens. Your walk with Him gets richer, and your testimony of Him expands. Okay? Now join me again as we wrap up chapter 4 of What Just Happened to Me, talking about belief. Did you hear the repeated phrase, for those who believe, throughout Jesus' I am statements? Well, what does it mean to believe? Let's talk about it next time, okay? I'll see you then.